So, hello everyone, my name is Saul Ortiz and I'll be giving you a quick little, around 5-minute video tour of what is now known as Uptown Kingston. But before we go do that little tour, we're going to talk about a brief little history of the city of Kingston. So, what is now known as the city of Kingston was originally a Dutch trading post originating from 1614. It was actually the third settlement settled by the Dutch in the Hudson Valley. First being New Amsterdam, which is now known as New York City. Second being Fort Orange, which is now known as Albany. And third, which would be later known as Wiltwyck under the Dutch, is Kingston. So what this area we'll be looking at, Uptown Kingston, which is now known as, was originally the stockade, which is why it's now called the Stockade District, of the fortifications of the city of Kingston, when the Esopus natives actually tried to, Esopus and the Dutch had very high tension between them. So that's the area we're going to be looking at today. And then later on, the English actually took over the Dutch in the year 1663, 1664. And then the city would be known as Kingston later on. So before we move on to the tour, we're just going to be looking at these statues up here, okay? Alright, so before we move on to the rest of the tour, we're starting with the Academy Road in Uptown Kingston, where there are three statues of three very important men that helped found the state of New York. So to my right here, we have Peter Stuyvesant, which was actually the last director of the colony of the Netherlands, which is now modern day New York State. So Peter Stuyvesant actually was the last director, as I said, and he was the one who succeeded control of the colony to the English in 1660. So then we'll be moving on. The second statue in mine is a statue of George Clinton. George Clinton was actually the first governor of New York State, and he was also vice president under James Madison and Thomas Jefferson. He was also a general of the Revolutionary War, and he was actually inaugurated in Kingston. Kingston was the first capital. And then the last statue here, we have a statue of Henry Hudson. Henry Hudson was, as the name implies, the man who they named the river after. And Henry Hudson actually was English, but he did sail under the Dutch crown in the Dutch East Indies. One little last thing I want to say about while we're in Academy Green. As I said, two of these men were actually very deeply tied to the Dutch. And when I was giving the history, it was very Dutch heavy. That's because the colony of New Amsterdam, which is now known as New York, was a very heavily influenced part by the Dutch legacy. There's a really cool video by Russell Shorno that I will be linking at the bottom of this video for you to look, where he explains the Dutch legacy a little farther. And a little quick cool fact about Academy Green and Dutch. In 1959, there was Princess Beatrix of the Netherlands actually attended the Hudson Champlain Festival right here in Academy Green. So right now we're actually going to go over to the Senate House and we'll continue the tour from there, okay? Nice little walking tour of going to the Senate House from Academy Green. And there's construction right here, so that's really annoying actually. Here's a little bit more views of Uptown Kingston. Yeah. Walking uptown, we have a little memorial to all the soldiers that have fought in the American wars. So if you're interested in that, definitely come and check this out. So walking up, here's a very old cemetery, part of the Old Dutch Church, where our next part of the walk is leading us. I know I said Senate building, but we changed course to the Old Dutch Church because it made more sense. I'll also link a map at the bottom of this video for you guys to follow this route. Alright guys, so as I said, we changed course, and instead of going to the Senate building, we're here at what is now known as the Old Dutch Church by natives and anybody who looks it up on the internet. And thankfully there's no more construction or wood chipping happening by us, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me a little bit better. So this building is actually incredibly cool, which probably warrants its own video by itself. And I will link the full history at the bottom of this video, but I'll just give a quick overview. So the oldest church was actually built in 1660 when Peter Stuyvesant ordered the construction of the stockade here in Kingston to protect the natives against Esopus native raids. But it was actually destroyed by the Esopus natives, I believe 1663, a couple years after its building. And it actually destroyed most of the original structure on what is here now today. And then it actually got destroyed again during the Revolutionary War when General Vaughan burned the city of Kingston. And because the people who attended the Old Dutch Church actually were very big supporters of the rebel cause during the Revolutionary War. And like I said, this building warrants its own video if possible. And one little cool fact about this building, it actually raised its own regiment during the Civil War. And I'm sure those names are over there at the memorial in front of the DMV on Kingston that we also recorded. So I'm just gonna take a few videos of what this building looks like on the outside for you guys to see. In front of the Old Dutch Church. Not much of the original structure is left, but this is the new one. And somewhere here in the cemetery, I don't want to go in and look for it to respect the place. But I know George Clinton, the first governor of New York, is buried here, not to be confused with George Clinton of Parliament Funkadelic. So walking up towards the Senate House, one of the other very notable landmarks here in Kingston, New York. All right, guys, so here we are on our third leg of our journey. We're here at the Senate House building, where the New York State Senate convened during the Revolutionary War and when Kingston was New York State's capital. So a little quick background on the Senate House, which I will also link down at the bottom of this video. So the Senate House was originally a house. As it says, it was a Dutch-style house built for a family, the Ten Broeks. I believe his name was Colonel Wessel Ten Broek. I have a picture of the plaque that says that. And when New York State Senate decided to convene during 1776, this was actually the location picked by the New York State Senate so they can go and do their meetings. And we'll walk around this location for a little bit. It was also burnt back when General Vaughan destroyed the city of Kingston back in October 16th of 1777 as well. So a little quick fun fact about this place, since it was burned, most of the internal wood is actually late 18th century, early 19th century. Not a lot of it's original at this point because of the burning of Kingston. So we'll just take a few pictures and walk around the property so you can see what it looks like. This is what the Senate House looks like at the back. You're actually allowed to visit the grounds at any point during the day, but they aren't doing tours inside just yet. Actually, very beautiful place, very well preserved. There's a garden back here for you to look at. Here's a well. Really cool. The museum was actually open, so I got to look inside of the museum, which isn't the actual house at the moment. There's some really cool things inside of this place. I'm gonna take a few videos for you guys to look at. I definitely recommend entering in that museum if you have time. I got told not to take pictures, so I couldn't take as many pictures as I wanted for this video, but highly recommend it. And it actually supports the historical community of Kingston. So definitely go do that if you're in the area. A place of the old stockade where the old stockade would have been. All right, we're almost done with our little walk around Kingston. And I just wanted to point out one of the coolest parts of Uptown Kingston. We actually have this thing called the Four Corners. which are, as the plaque said, these buildings were actually built prior to the Revolutionary War, and is one of the last remaining parts of the country that are still like this. All these 4 buildings were built between, well, late 1600s, between late 1600s and late 1700s. Let's take a look at these cool buildings. I know I haven't visited all of them, but Uptown Kingston is full of these cool monuments and historical plaques. So I recommend walking around and just taking your time. All right, so after you do all that walking, especially on a hot summer day, I recommend coming to the Hoffman House Tavern, or one of the many fine restaurants offered here in Uptown Kingston. But what I recommend this restaurant is because it's actually a house, originally a house built in the late 1600s. It was actually built by a English soldier when they took over the city of Wiltwyck and converted it to Kingston. Now it stands as a restaurant, but it's actually looks like a colonial house on the inside. There's colonial artifacts and everything in here. I'll take a few pictures and videos of what it looks like on the inside. But definitely I recommend coming here after having a long walk to get some food and some drink. Very good stuff, very good people. Like I said, I recommend it heavily. Alright guys, so that pretty much concludes our tour. I know it's a little short one, and I know there's many more monuments and historical landmarks up here, and I know there's a lot more to talk about. I just want to point out a few of the most important ones, well, the ones that I think are very interesting, and I really recommend you guys walk around Uptown. It's not a very long walk, and it's very interesting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.